What is going on, guys? We got in our patch notes today for our second update of this month in our Tides of War Lightning Strikes chapter. We still have at least one more update to go, but this will be the last one for this month. This is all for tomorrow, January 29th update at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for PC, 2 a.m. for PlayStation, and 3 a.m. for Xbox. These are zero downtime updates, so once you've installed them, you can jump right in and try them out. We're seeing new vehicles make it to the battlefield from this update, such as a new Stormgeschütz 4, a vehicle with some pretty interesting features like the remote controlled machine gun turret that can be operated by a passenger who's inside the tank. So even though a few updates ago we had our ducking for cover update, but those in the top turret position had the option to have more cover by crouching down, it seems like this new tank is really going to be really passenger friendly, as there's a top gunner position for this tank, which is also going to be needed, as I guess the driver won't have a turret to operate with. So you have to align the hull of the tank in the direction of the enemies to overcome the limited amount of movement for the main cannon. Now, from what I understand, this will show up just in the armory already unlocked, as it is just a free new vehicle that's separate from our Tides of War weekly missions. We're also getting some new features coming to the practice range, such as the gadget practice, skeet shooting where a target is thrown up in the air and you have to shoot it, grenade practice, bullet drop, which will now have the ability to have a visualization where your bullet will land. They upgraded the initial spawn position to move between the open ranges much quicker, and it looks like we'll be able to earn practice ribbons that can be obtained by scoring streaks in easy, normal, and hard mode, where the ribbons will be viewed in the scoreboard for solo players or co-op players separately. It also has me wondering if these practice range missions will ever end up in Tides of War, so we'll have to wait out and see if DICE ends up doing something like that. We're seeing a bunch of improvements coming to the most recently added map, Panzerstorm, mainly for more cover, as it's obviously a very huge and open map. I'll link down the full patch notes in the comments down below if you guys want to see the detailed improvements coming to Panzerstorm. But what I really want to get into is the bug and gameplay improvements, something that's really on the top of my list for seeing DICE fix on the battlefield. So let's start out with the most recent bug that has been a pain for so many players, where players had to wait between the kill card and the bleed out that was extending the delay of your death. That will be fixed in this update, so hopefully we won't have any of those, what DICE has said, at least 3 seconds of delay between each death now. So hopefully that will help us out to get revived easier, or at least get into the respawn screen and get back on the battlefield. What is also really nice is DICE is also fixing the down friendlies icon that wasn't showing the depletion of the icon, which will alert the medics or players in your squad how much time is left before you end up not being able to be revived. So made it really difficult for players on your team to know how much time they had left to go up and revive you. So now that they see that icon being able to deplete, will maybe increase the urgency of that medic to run over there and try to revive you in time. But now let's talk about some of the big gameplay improvements we'll be seeing coming to the battlefield, such as the improved bipod for the machine guns, something I thought was definitely needed, but the only problem is the medium machine guns are pretty beastly already. So with this new improvement and no notes to nerf the machine guns, we might have a brief season of some pretty dominant machine gun gameplay on the battlefield. We'll have to wait and see. I don't suspect it'll be all too bad, as DICE may already have planned for updates to the weapons in some of the future updates coming in March. But if not, I'm sure the feedback and the telemetry of machine guns becoming OP on the battlefield will definitely catch their attention. We get a glimpse of some improved prone features there as well, as you can't prone in areas anymore that aren't able to be proned into. So no longer bobbing up and down wondering if there's a place for you to prone into or not. This time when you press the prone button, it won't let you prone at all, so it'll spare you some lost time trying to do something that you can't do after all. We'll be getting some vaulting improvements, so no longer does every individual little object on the ground make it so difficult for you to go over, but now if you're in full sprint, you'll just easily vault right over them. What's really cool is if your soldier isn't in full sprint, you'll still be able to climb on top of these items. It's only when you're in full sprint is when you're going to easily vault right over them. Next, we're getting improvements to the grab ledge feature, which makes me so happy, as crazy as that sounds. But oh man, grabbing ledges has been a pain in Battlefield, especially with it being a kind of cool feature in my opinion. I mean, I love being on maps like Rotterdam and jumping between those broken down bridges. It's just a pain how terribly slow the animation is to climb back up, making you such an easy target for players to shoot you. Now, I'm not sure how much of the bridge that you jump across of on Rotterdam will be improved, as from the video that the developers have teased us on Twitter about, have shown on higher ledges, on those more distant jumps, the animation to climb up has been a bit longer than animations where you're jumping from closer ledges. So that is fair enough, but I'll have to see if that translates more over to how long the delay has been for me jumping over the bridges in Rotterdam. I imagine it's not going to be as quick as the animation it showed for the fast ledge grab, but I imagine it shouldn't be as long as the one where the guy's jumping from the top of the roof onto another roof. So we'll have to wait and see. The point is, it's nice to see that all these ledge grabs from these different locations aren't equal, as it wouldn't be that equal in real life, I'd imagine, as well. So really cool features to see them improving these movement systems on the battlefield. We have a couple more improvements on the battlefield that I want to highlight for you guys coming in this update. Feel free to check out the comments down below where I will link the full patch notes if you guys want to see the full comprehensive list. But we're seeing some improvements coming to aiming down sights with your gun when moving and when transitioning from crouch to full stance. We're also seeing improvements in soldier animation, making the upper body and head more steady. All pretty interesting stuff, yet we still haven't seen improvements to the super bullet death, where players die instantly on the battlefield. We know DICE has said they believe they diagnosed the problem, and we're running more scientific tests, so I'm hoping in March we'll see that and other UI improvements, like the ability to change our assignments in-game instead of having to jump out of the match to do that. Still watching that one from DICE and was hoping it'd make it in there, but I'm sure DICE is aware of that issue, and I'm betting we'll be seeing that coming out hopefully sooner than later. But feel free to let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. I think some of these improvements are going to be pretty game-changing on the battlefield, like the bipod improvements. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but it'll be very interesting to watch. Also, we'll be very curious to see how the new movement mechanics affect maps like Devastation, where every little rock and every little piece of gravel, it feels like, on the ground, you get stuck on. So hopefully it'll be more fluid of a movement system, making the gameplay overall just a better experience. But that is it for you guys today. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.